Example 5 is identifying equations with no solutions. So here, we're still going to try and get our square root by itself. So in order to do that, I get rid of a plus 8 by subtracting 8. The square root of 3y equals negative 6. Now, to get rid of my square root, I'm going to go ahead and square each side. I take my radicand because my square and my square root cancel each other out. Negative 6 squared gives me a positive 36. Negative 6 times negative 6, positive 36. Divide by 3, and y equals 12. Now I need to plug that in to double check. So the square root of 3 times 12 plus 8 equals 2. We're going to check this. So the square root of 36 plus 8, square root of 36 is 6 plus 8, which gives me 14. Does not equal 2, so 12 does not work. Here, when we have no solutions that work, okay, the only one we came up with was extraneous. Our answer then is just no solution. And we could have seen that here back in the blue as well. I had the square root of 3y equals a negative 6. We know that no square root can ever equal a negative number. So here we could have had a no solution. They won't always be that obvious along the way. Sometimes it'll be based off things that happen inside the square root, or different things can happen there. But if you would have seen this right away, could have gone right to no solution by just telling me that that can't be equal. And you could have avoided everything in the white. Otherwise, we still got to the same place by squaring, solving, plugging it back in, and realizing they weren't possibly equivalent. Now, what is the solution of 6 minus the square root of 2x equals 10? So again, we're going to try and get our square root by itself. In order to do that, I have a positive 6 in the beginning, so to get it to 0, I subtract 6. If there's not a sign, it's a plus. To get rid of plus, we minus. That negative stays with my square root of 2x. Here we have two options. We can either divide by a negative 1 and move it to the other side, or we can keep it. And I'm going to keep it here just to show you what would happen if we had a number there. So let's say it was 2 and we didn't divide. Okay, so when we square here, we take that squared to everything. So negative 1 gets squared, and so does my square root. So the negative 1 squared is positive 1. And inside my square root, I have a 2x. And 1 times anything is itself. But let's say that was a 2 there or something like that. Then we would have a 4 times our radicand in parentheses. So here, I get 16. Divide by 2. And x equals 8. We plug it back in to check, back into our original equation again. That was my original equation, so now I plug in my 8. Square root of 16 is 4, and I get 2 equals 10. Which we know is not true. So this does not work, and I have no solution. We could have seen that from in the blue here. I had negative square root of 2x equals 4. So the other ways, guys, is we could have gotten rid of that multiplication by dividing. Square root of 2x equals negative 4. And the square root cannot equal a negative number. So here we'd have gotten no solution as well. Quick recap here. Some radical equations can be solved by squaring both sides and testing the solutions. When extraneous solutions are tested, they do not solve the original equation. And that's all I have for section 10.4.